Thank you so much. So thank you all for joining me tonight on such a busy night, holiday season. I really am truly very grateful that you've taken some time to come in, learn a little bit about me, and most importantly, about our higher self, about our guides, our angels, how we can work with this energy. And as I've been calling it lately, have a radical approach to our spiritual development, working in the Akashic realm. So my story does go all the way back to New York City. I lived there for 35 years. And living there, I was pretty busy. 2 small children. I was making jewelry. I just got contracts as Eileen Fisher stores. In and out of New York City. I had a husband, the whole bit. And I was really busy. Busy running around. Busy like we are now, right? And the thing is that when we're so busy, we aren't paying attention. So as you come in tonight, notice where you are right now. Notice that sometimes amongst that busyness, we do need to stop and presence our energy. So here I was in New York City, running around, busy, so excited about these contracts. I knew something was going on in my marriage, but I just didn't want to look at it. I was too busy. So that is where my story begins in my own spiritual development. New York City, busy, 2 kids, until that one crazy moment when everything changed. That one moment when he came into the kitchen and he's like, honey, I'm in love with another woman. That'll make you stop, right? That'll make you stop and wonder, who have I been tuning into?
No.
Who have I been listening to? For me, the answer was not me, not any guides, not any higher self. I'm just running around in this 3D human world, right? How many times do you find yourself doing the same thing? No, there's something underneath. No, you're not listening to the messages. There were hints. There were messages. But this is what happens in our humanness. We get so busy. We forget we can tune in. We forget we have connections to soul energy. Because that's what we're here for, right? Connecting with our soul, learning our lessons, going about. And that fateful moment was really huge. And that voice I heard, who am I listening to, is still a very powerful voice right now. Now, at the time, I didn't quite know, really, what was that? But it sent me on a search. It sent me on a search to find out who was I paying attention to. Changed everything in my life. I started going to therapy. I started doing all the things we're supposed to do, going to therapy, learn, blah, 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 etc., right? Nothing was working. Panic attacks. I couldn't calm down. I couldn't find that voice again. Until my 40th birthday, so this goes back 27 years ago, until my 40th birthday when a friend of mine said, hey, I met these twins, let's go. One's an astrologer, one's a spiritual counselor. She went to the astrologer, I went to the spiritual counselor. I didn't even know what that meant, but I knew I needed help. And so I did. I went, I met Catherine, we talked, we did some breathing. She did some hands-on stuff. I left, got back in my car and felt, peace, quiet. And then I heard it again. You're going to be okay. It was so loud. I'm like, who was that? I looked in the back. I can remember. I said, I don't know, but I am going to follow that voice. I am going to start connecting and following that voice. And I also made a promise that my children were not just going to survive. They were going to thrive. And that became my driving force. So I started working with Catherine. I found out it was called Reiki, all right? Many of you here today know Reiki, right? Okay, you can learn this? Oh my gosh, I started learning. And then I started working with my children, noticing huge results from them, calming down, a bonding of energy with us. And so that voice kept empowering me to learn more and more about my own spirit, about who I was. And when I learned Reiki, it gave me that sense of self, something to believe in again. And then I started learning and started growing and started going even deeper. And then I was in New York during 9/11, and that was huge. My teacher was looking for people to help at 9/11, interfaith ministry, and I became an interfaith minister. I took on a vow to help humanity. Big vow, but that is why I do the work, to feel that empowerment and to help others feel that empowerment too. Because I was down, I was out, I didn't know how I was going to make it with 2 small children, but doing this work gave me that sense of self. And I kept working and, I was in jewelry. I had to get a job, right? I had to go back to work. We had to move our home. So we had to go through all these many things. But Reiki and having a spiritual practice kept giving me something to believe in. It kept giving me something to follow. Right? In the Reiki world, we talk about our Reiki guides. It kept giving me these guides to help us, help me, and help my children. Now, my children did go on to graduate with jobs. They're amazing. They're doing wonderful. Right there is enough to say, okay, thy work be done. But it's not. I kept going because I did take a vow. I did make a commitment with myself to do this work to help empower others. So I've gone on, looking and understanding what was that soul energy with this man I love so much. That was really hurtful. I did go on. And through doing this work, learning more and more about myself, how to connect with our guides, how to look at this soul energy this past year, I was featured in Freddie Silva's book, Portals of Energy, talking about this very work, talking about how you can connect with your guides, with your soul, to heal the heart, to heal grief, to heal feeling lost, lonely, and separated. So this is what brings me here today. I am a soul reader. I'm also an author. I'm also a podcaster, The Empowered Spirit Show. I get to meet so many amazing guests with my Empowered Spirit Show. I've written a tarot book. I've written a tarot deck. I've written another book, Confessions of a Shower Tapper. So this is what has occurred by tuning in and listening to that one voice that said, who am I? Who am I listening to? And then it became, you're going to be okay. And even today, it became hearing voices and guidance, go there, do this, do that, to where I am now, to being empowered to teach this work. So welcome, everyone. Welcome to this work. Welcome to learning more about your higher self and your guides. Thank you again for tuning in. So as we go to begin the program, let's do that. Let's take a moment and just tune in. So as you do, notice where you are right now. You're probably busy, running around, trying to catch the meeting here. Whatever it is, just notice for a moment. Where are you and how do you feel? And now, let's tune in, spirit to spirit, and notice the shifts that can occur with that. All right, so wherever you are, if you can, just close your eyes for a moment. I'm going to light a little fire as we call in the sacred elements. Fire. Empowering our soul, bringing us in for transmutation, transformation. Noticing the element, smoke, which turns into air, clearing our mind, clearing our space. Calling in the element of water to wash through us, opening the heart, letting the emotions flow, activating our intuition. And we call in the element of earth, grounding, centering. Taking a nice deep inhale, breathing up the body. And as you exhale, breathe all the way back down, calling all your energy into you. Call it in. Inhale, expanding the breath up the body. And as you exhale, begin to slow down. Begin to feel that alignment coming in, the spiritual body aligning right on top of the emotional, the mental, the physical bodies, all centering. Inhale, taking another deep breath, expanding that breath up the body. And now as you exhale, dropping right into the heart, right into that deepest part of your heart. Feel that connection, your spirit and the greater spirit. Know that you are loved, guided, protected. Feeling all this energy coming in around us as we go to create this sacred space. We call in our Reiki masters. We call in the teachers that have come before us. Let us call in the angels to open our heart with love and joy. Let us call in the crystal beings for amusement, magnification. And now let us go ahead and call in the higher self. Just imagine the higher self, the energy right above the higher chakras. Notice how this feels as you just call it in. Energy follows intention. Take another deep inhale, breathing all the way up through the crown. Now go a little further. 8th chakra, 9th chakra, right up into the higher self. And as you exhale, breathe all the way back through. Absolute light, streams of grace moving all the way through. Take another deep inhale, breathing up the body. And exhale, coming right back into the heart. And now right here in your heart, connect again with that higher self. And just ask, is this my higher self? If this is new to you, just ask. Notice. Notice what comes forward when you ask that. So now here we are, we've taken a few breaths, we're activating that higher self, we're opening up the radiant light body. Feeling a shift? Feeling a little calmer? So when we activate the higher self, I like to call it in above the higher chakras, because when we work with the advanced chakra system, we have that ninth chakra, which is the energy of our current life, our purpose in this current life. So the higher self sits right above that. Then we have the eighth chakra, which is our legacy, our past life information. That's why we can sometimes remember, sometimes not. So when the higher self sits up above and starts to filter in, then it opens up through the seventh chakra, the crown, coming into the humanness of who we are. So our higher self can become, I like to look at it as a filter, filtering those messages. And when we work with soul, when we work with those guides and spirit and our higher self, we get the truth. And then we start creating that connection. So that connection I spoke of when I was standing in the kitchen that morning was telling me, who are you listening to? And then I made a commitment sitting in the car. Okay, I'm going to come back. And I'm that, like, you're going to be okay? I'm following that voice. And I made a commitment to show up to that. That's part of the work. Showing up, getting quiet. So acknowledging a little bit more quiet, a little bit of tuning in. We start to breathe. We start to access the higher realms of possibility. That is why I like to talk about not just Akashic records, but working in the Akashic realm. We get out of that 3D craziness, the Veda state of the mind, science, right? And we open up to the higher realms. We build this light body, this column, breathing up and breathing down. We can even open the aura, bring it back in. That's all of the energy moving. We know this through Reiki, right? The radiance, the Raku Ki energy. We start to build this energy, and then we start to tune in to these places. What is the higher self saying right now? Maybe it's saying, yeah, this is familiar. Maybe it's saying, I don't know what she's talking about. But we want to start to build that connection of trust. And then we start to filter the other guides and angels and guardians and messages all through that central channel of light. So now let's go a little further. Let's talk a little bit about hang on to your higher self, and it takes a little practice to come back. Let's talk about the difference in guardian, guides, and angels, all right? There's a lot of different information out there, so my perspective, right? Guardians. When we work in the Akashic realm, I was taught many different ways. I've had teachers from the Akashic Institute, Patricia, I've had Cindy Dale, I've had Stacy Cares I've talked to, a lot of different teachers, and many people teach it different ways. So what I've done is like, what works for me? What has been working for my clients? So I was trained that we have one guardian in the Akashic realm. However, working with clients, it's not always that way. Sometimes many show up. Sometimes what happens is one main guardian will show up when we call it in. The guardian protects our records, and I honor that. Like, I can't just go into somebody's records without permission, without asking the guardians. And the same for me. I still honor that part of me. But sometimes what happens is one main guardian shows up and then there's all these little ones, or they come down and they're behind. And so it becomes amusement. Lots of times what I notice too is like they come with different hats, and that shows us information. So what I've started to notice is when there are many, and generally one big, smaller, there's many lives that are dealing with the question that we've asked. So that's another sign. And we start to intuit the information. But our guardian is what does help us in understanding the Akashic realm and all of our many lives. And that information too becomes filtered through that higher self. So we start to, just like we establish a relationship with our higher self, we establish a relationship with our guardian. We call it in, we honor it, we access the keys to these records, and the guardian protects us. And then we start having amusement, right? Because we're not working in the logical mind, we're working in this beautiful realm, this beautiful vibration, energetic realm where sound and color and light and vision and smells and senses and feelings, all of that is where we get our information. It's a different perspective. It's a different way of accessing information. There's another word I was trying to say in there. So that's what we want to be in this realm of possibility. So that's our guardian. And I always kind of go here because what we start to do when we work in this realm, whether it's mediumship or intuitive readings or the Akashic records, we establish how we get our information. So for me, the guardian shows up like right over here. So it becomes, okay, right? Higher self, guardian. So for everybody, it's different. We're going to have a practice in a few moments and you'll get to notice for you. So that's guardian. Now, when we work in the Akashic realm, I like to have a little visualization. Let me just show you. Sometimes we can have it look like this, where we have this realm of records and all these different rooms. And I think originally it was kind of like this for me, like a hallway. However, it's kind of shifted to where I see the books, but I also see the galaxy of light. So what is it for you? It could be anything, but what we want to do is have imagination. We want to have visualization. We want to set up that realm of possibility. So when we call in, the guardian comes here, we're in this hallway, this gateway, this galaxy. It doesn't really matter. I've had many teachers tell me different ways, but this is kind of how I start to visualize it for me, and you will too. Now, we work with guides. There are so many guides that can come in and work with us. Right? We can have spirit guides, we can have Reiki guides, we can have money guides, we can have healing guides, we can have soul guides, we can have so many different guides. We can also create that, but the key is to create that relationship. Again, that commitment to coming up and showing up with your guides. They can be anything and anyone. They can be ascended masters. You can give them definition. You can give them names. Now, when we talk about Reiki, I know many of you coming in tonight from Reiki Rays, we talk about our Reiki guides. And when we go through the attunements with Reiki, right, we start to attune to those Reiki guides that come in to help us. So that's one form. And what we start to notice even with our Reiki guides is our intuition starts to open. So lots of times when I'm working with my clients in Reiki, like my guides come in to help me, just in case I miss something or don't want to forget something. They're there with me, guiding me. And even in my everyday world, sometimes like I don't know what to do, I'm just going to ask Reiki to guide me. That's a form of guidance. All right. I was sharing a story recently about a money guide. I've worked with people because for my own self, all right, I admit I had some credit card debt, just kind of lagging it up there, right? Building it up there. And so I started working with a money guide. And so a money guide, we do this in the program, we start to create a money room and we start to recognize how are we receiving money? And we ask the guide, show us, do we accept it? Do we repel it? Do we not want it? And we start to notice that. And then we also can notice how are we building containers of money? All right. And so I started working with a money guide, and I've helped my clients do the same, some of them that have asked, to let that energy of debt get out. Like I want to lower that and increase my spending money, right? Or my savings money or whatever. And so energetically, we start to have the guides work with us. Then we start to bring the messages in through our higher self, reminding us in the physical world, in our 3D world, oh yeah, I want to get out of this. So we can have guides like that. I know as a businesswoman, right, I have to have my marketing team and I have to have my writers and my creatives. And so you can create guides like that as well. Also in the Akashic realm, we work with healing guides. So lots of times we can bring up imprints, all right? Imprints is one of the things I really love to work with and talk about. But we can bring up like old imprints, and then they can be very sensitive energies. And so we call in the healing guides to help repattern. And so then healing guides show up, and they're almost like little beings of energy, and they start to help pull out threads of energy. All right, very similar to how Reiki works and the symbols. In fact, this is how I started discovering the possibility of using all the tools and Reiki in the Akashic realm, right? During COVID, right, we had to put all of our work online. And through that, we started working more and more with energy healing online. And then I started realizing like, well, Reiki works past and present. There is no time barrier. That's how the Akashic realm. And I started bringing all these tools into the Akashic realm, noticing these connections with my guides were so much greater. So we build that team for us that we can always work with. So those are guides, healing guides, work guides, personal guides, health guides. Work with a client right now with health problems. Call in a health guide. You could call in your health guide to ask, what do I need right now? Is this good for me? What do I need to do next? And then you get quiet, tune into the higher self, what are those messages, and you allow that guidance to come through. Yesterday, I was having to go help. Some of my work that I do is working with soul energy, people that pass. I prepare them for death, and so I had to get out to the cemetery. And so I was getting dressed and pressed for time, right? Sometimes, death is never timely. So I kept hearing my mother. My mother becomes a guide. Maybe she's an angel, which is kind of a segue into the next part. But I kept hearing her, Terry, you better hurry up. Come on, Terry, get going. You don't want to be late. I kept saying, okay, Mama, thank you. Thank you for the guidance. Okay. So even that kind of energy becomes a guide. She passed about 6 years, actually going on 6 years. And so it's turned into guidance for me. Now, the funny thing is that I did get out on time. I did get to where I need. And I saw a friend who turned around and she called me Virginia, my mother's name, because the energy was so present. I know her. She knows me. She didn't even realize she called me that. So for me, it's like, okay, this was a way for me to feel love for the one that has passed, my mother. Feel the guidance coming in. Let her guide me. Let her help me get out of the house on time. And then the presence was so there. I think it was for me that she called me that, just to know we can connect, whether it's a loved one or whether we create the energy of a Reiki guide. We have that ability, and then we commit to it. And you know what? Her anniversary is coming up next week, 6 years. And I could be sad and I could be depressed, but instead we allow this work to empower us to lift that vibration of energy. Now, you could also consider that to be an angel, a little angel, my mom, an angel. It doesn't really matter. There are many kind of angels. And some will say angels are guides. But for me, guides, all right, guardian, guides, and angels come right down into the heart. And I feel that presence come around and into the heart. So that's for me. I don't really know, honestly, if it matters, if you have to distinguish, oh, no, that was an angel. No, that was a guide. I don't think we have to get ourselves into the left brain too much. There are archangels. I think everybody's kind of familiar with that. And so in the world of angels, right, in the world of angels of the healing field, which I've studied, archangels are like our Michaels, our Raphaels, our Gabriels. These have specific vibrations that help us in this human life that we're in. Many of us know Michael, right? Michael is the guide like for protection. He shows up sometimes as blue or to protect us, get us out of fear. All right, we have Gabrielle. Gabrielle, who we all know, like in the Bible, goes back to bringing the message to Mary that she was pregnant. Gabrielle helps us with our intuitive abilities, our visions, so we can connect in that respect. We have Raphael, who shows up as a healing guide, who shows up lots of times as green, healing energies. All right, Sarah's gone. I've been calling in lately. She's another archangel. It's an archangel that comes in to help us ease and effortlessness. Get out of the stress, get out of the overwhelm, ease and effortlessness. So those are our archangels. All right, I tell this story to my mom too. We have Shamuel, who some consider her an angel, some consider her an archangel. As much as she's helped us, I'm giving her the archangel quality. So in the last years of my mom's life, the last 5 years after my dad passed, which is kind of what brought me back to where I am now from New York, I lived with her. And as we do when we get older, I think I shared this in a post recently, she started forgetting things. And one morning I found her all in a fluster. She had put some money away, right? And she couldn't find it. And like, okay, Mom, let's just take a breath. Let's call in Archangel Shamuel, who's known to help us find things. So I said, let's take a breath. What are you looking for? Describe it. So she'd put her money in a little bank envelope, right? Let's call in Archangel Shamuel to help us find this. So the pausing, the reflection, and we shifted a little energy. And there it was, her money. And it got to be where she'd stand at the top of the stairs. She'd go, Terry, what's that angel's name again? And I knew she was losing something. Whether it was passwords or jewelry, whatever, but became amusement instead of a lower vibration of aggravation, stress, and overwhelm. So when we work in this higher realm and we call in our angels, call in our guides, and open up, we lift our vibration to joy and amusement. Now, if you've studied any of Dr. David Hawkins' work, you recognize that when we're in the higher vibrations, that's where manifesting occurs. That's where health and healing occur. When we're in the lower vibrations, overwhelm, shame, guilt, worry, then we're in that stress and anxiety and we can't get out of it. So why I work in this realm is exactly that. Lift the vibration, have amusement, have that commitment to connect. I'm in a mediumship class right now, my first official mediumship. I've never really taken one, but Suzanne Giesman was on my podcast, maybe you know her, world-known medium, and they invited me into her first level of mediumship. But she talks about pact, making a pact to commit. So P is patience, having patience with yourself to trust. A is being and allowing yourself to be in that flow of energy. C is the commitment I've been talking about. Committing to showing up, committing to the relationship with these guides and angels and your guardian. And T is trust. T is for me. T is trust. Trust that the messages you're getting are valid. Very powerful. So let's take a moment. Let's tune back in. And let's go up into the higher realms of possibility. Open up this energy and then call in and let's see what you can connect with. Don't doubt, just trust. All right? Here we go. Taking a nice deep inhale, breathing up the body, and exhale, breathing all the way back down. Slowing down. Inhale, expanding the breath up the body, going a little further through the crown, moving back through the 8th, 9th, through the higher self into the higher realms. Exhale, breathing all the way back down through the higher self, coming in through the body. Some will move out the arms, the legs, the feet, deep into the earth, all the way down. 10th chakra, generations, roots. Inhale, breathing all the way back up, activating this light body. Exhale, breathing all the way down. Imagine, pretend, visualize as you breathe, you expand this column of light, white light. Create that image, vision, feeling for you. Exhale, breathing all the way back down. And as you begin to work in this energy, we begin to open up to the higher realms of possibility, moving through these tunnels of light, setting out the cords of certainty, feeling this sacred space all around us. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, moving through the veil of roses, asking permission to enter into this realm, asking permission, calling in your guardian of your records. So now see yourself in this realm, the galaxy, the light. Notice what that is for you. And then call in your guardian. Notice how your guardian shows up. Don't judge, just notice. And now we're going to ask the guardian to help us through this exercise. Asking your guardian to present a guide for you right now. Notice. Ask. Ask through your higher self. Okay, where's my guide? Is my guide showing up? Ask, does your guide have a message for you? Just notice. Don't judge, just notice. Maybe a color? Maybe a sound? Maybe a flash? Maybe a full image? Ask, are you my guide for me right here, right now? Go a little further. What can you help me with? Maybe it's something that you need help with, and ask, can you help me with this? My heart, my health, my money, those that have passed. Notice. Breathe. Keep the heart open. And now here's where you make a commitment. Whatever that sensation is, whatever the color shows up, whatever that feeling, vibration, return to it. Build that connection for you. Then we offer gratitude. Thank you. Thank you for showing up. Take a deep breath. And now let's call in the angelic realm. See if you can feel a difference. Notice how this shows up. Let's call in all right, I'm hearing Gabrielle. Thank you. Gabrielle just gave me the message. Let's call in Archangel Gabrielle. Bringing in this realm, opening up Gabrielle, who helps us with our visions, receiving and giving messages. Open the heart. Start to notice the third eye opening. How does it show up for you? Color, light, sound, images. Feel right through that third eye opening. Feel the ears opening, the throat, the voice, how you receive messages opening. Now let's call in Michael, Archangel Michael. Call Michael in. Notice a little different feeling. Heart is open. Maybe you see that blue. I feel this whole sensation grounding for protection. Different vibration, subtle, yes, but possible. Take a deep inhale. So my guides are kind of showing me there's a little not a little uncertainty, maybe a little mistrust. So we're going to call in healing angels right now. So any doubt that you may feel, Imagine that doubt turning a bright red. And we're just going to ask the healing angels to come in, healing guides to come in to help remove these little discomforts, little doubt. We want to let them free, moving them out of the energy field so that you can feel that trust, that allowing. Take a breath all the way down. Take another breath right into the heart. Exhale out of the heart. Tune in again to the higher self and ask, do I feel this? Do I notice this? Is this real? And again, we thank the angels, the healing guides, Gabrielle, Michael, our healing guides, our guardians. We offer gratitude. Thank you. Thank you for any bit of a message received. And yes, we honor. And yes, we will return right here, creating this connection. So feeling now all this energy coming in right through that higher self. And now with the higher self, we start to bring this energy through the 9th chakra, 8th chakra, 7th chakra, bring it through the 6th, all the way through the body, 5th, 4th, 3rd, 2nd, 1st, all the way down, even through the 10th chakra below our feet. And we start to come back and bring that awareness all the way back down through these tunnels, coming back down through this realm of possibility, coming back here, right here, wherever you are sitting, and just acknowledging, all right, here I am. And now what we want to do is just kind of separate out. We've all been joined in energy. So imagine a crystal ball right above your head and imagine your name in red. And just imagine reaching up and releasing fresh, absolute light all the way through you, your energy, your aura, your vibration, all the way down, right back here into present time. And now take a moment. Take a sip of water, do a little stretch. Notice what you notice. I say that all the time. Notice what you notice. How do you feel? What were those messages? And now, one of the reasons I like working with the higher self is because you can come back into the higher self right here, right now. Higher self, what was it? Remember the messages. What angel, what guide, what was the message for me? Was this hard? Was this easy? Can I commit? And we give our higher self those responsibilities. Take a breath, take a pause. Let me know in the comments, in the chat if you'd like, if you have questions, what you felt. In the class that I teach, working in the Akashic realm, we would then discuss it. We would get confirmation, and working with each other, we allow ourselves, oh, I felt that too. Oh, I noticed that too. And that brings that confidence forward even more. Was this hard? Was this easy? Is this something you've already known? Is this something you want to know more of? This is where we start working in the higher realms of possibility. This is where we have that. So yes, I am teaching a class coming up. I've kind of pushed the dates a little further into January, but I would like to share it with you. If this is something that you are interested in and you want to know more about, I would love to tell you a few moments here. Soul.Work, working in the Akashic realm. So in the Akashic realm, as I was talking about what I learned through Reiki, is that we can use all of our tools. So yes, I will teach more about Reiki and crystals and color and guides and angels, intuition. EFT is a great way to reinforce what we work with. The Ho'oponopono. In the Akashic realm, there is no judgment. We just give ourselves lots of love and forgiveness. Pranic energy, meaning the energy field. Chakra work, auric field as well. So why do we even want to do this? What can we gain? So my clients have learned so many things by working in there. I've had a client that was in a horrible relationship. She didn't want to leave. Working in the Akashic realm, she was able to recognize these are old imprints that she brought forward. When she began to break them through, guess what? She was able to move forward. We can expand our consciousness and open up to different perspectives. That's why we went into the realm tonight. Move from the humanness of who we are, using vibration, color, sound, vision, energy. This is the medicine of the future. Right here, right now, to help heal. And I could share many instances of my own healing, but right here, this is how we do it. We can gain clarity on life's challenges. The Akashic records in the realm provide guidance and clarity, allowing you to make choices that align right here with that higher self. Heal past trauma, energy imprints. This is what actually I was on with the Reiki Rays with the summit about, healing imprints. Old imprints, we start to look, where did these come from? We go into each of the rooms and we start retrieving records, and we start going even past life. All those little things you can't seem to get forward with or can't move beyond, energy imprints. Then we start releasing those patterns, and then that's where we use Reiki and EFT tapping to help bring you forward to create new neural pathways. A little science mixed in, why not? Then you can experience greater peace and fulfillment, gain a deeper understanding of your joy, find meaning and amusement. Like I was talking about with my mom, it was so much more amusing this morning than feeling I'm going to be late, I'm going to be late. It was amusing, and we find that joy. We create a deeper depth for our journey. And then our spiritual team, just like we've done today. We can begin to vision and see and look at life from a different perspective. That's what we need right now in a world going on with all the shifts and changes in the cosmos. So in the program, I am going to cover developing intuition, looking at timelines, past, present. We can also work into the future. I'm not a predictive teacher, but I'm a projective teacher, and we start to allow the future to take shape. Like we work with Reiki when we send energy out, same kind of way of working, but we go a little deeper. We work past life energies. What did this lifetime teach me? That's kind of what I wrote about in my book with Freddie Silva. Past life, how I was a mystic in another life. I died too soon. There was a lot of grief. And so I began to break this apart. Star people. I did not teach this last year, but I will be teaching star people this year. Connecting with the Lemurians, connecting with the Palladians, connecting with even the Octarians, right? We're going to talk about working with our star people. More and more this is coming forward. We'll look at soul purpose versus life purpose and help you access that information. Generational imprints. Oh my gosh, I shared recently a post about getting visible and about my generational energy. We'll work with that, breaking through those old imprints of our ancestors. We honor them. We don't have to carry them. Money imprints, we've talked about, your guardians and your guides. So many topics that we get into. Now, one of the things I tend to forget to talk about is that I am an accredited ACHA, an accredited Council for Holistic Health. I forget what it stands for, but I am accredited, which means you do get a certificate with this, and I also have scholarships available. I tend to forget to kind of brag on myself, but I am accredited. My Reiki classes are through the Bodyworks and through Yoga Alliance as well. So I am recognized because of the work I have done and the value that I bring forward. Very important. Now, here's the program details. I've moved the date to January 22nd, all right, through March 12th, 8 weeks. This time of night, 6 to 7:15 p.m. I do honor our time. You can have an option of working as a group, or if you want a little bit more in-depth, go into your own personal stories. I do offer as a VIP along with the group time. All right, so if you want to go ahead and join and do this work and really commit, here are the bonuses I'm offering by the end of the month. Radiant Light Program. This is a self-study, but if you want to learn more about your energy field, your energy body, your aura, this is the course for you. Trusting Your Intuition will be a bonus class on January 15th. You will receive an extra one-on-one mentoring call with me, and then there's a Fax Action bonus tonight, Angel, 11% off the cost of each of the payments that you do. All right, so basically here's how it breaks down. Your group class, Promo Angel, one payment instead of $77.99, $711, or 3 payments of $244. So basically less than $100 a session, basically what you're getting. And the VIP option too is an awesome $14.97 down to $13.32. Again, you can break it into payments as well. And again, my normal sessions are like $200 for a 2-hour session. So again, you're getting a really great bonus. Here's more of what we'll be doing. All the many things, creating your reading space, breath and meditation, your higher self we talked about. We'll go more into establishing that each and every week. We'll talk about the keys to accessing soul contracts. That's a big one. Talked about that vow I made. What soul contracts have you made that keep you stuck in life, right? We'll talk about all these things, how to rewire the brain, because ultimately that's what we want to do, right? We want to rewire our patterns. We want to create new possibilities, enrich our life, and advance in what we're doing. Those ancestor imprints, actually, this is why I do the work right now, is because winter we go deep. That is why I do it. So take a breath and just look at this quote here. To work in the Akashic realm of your soul is to delve into the sacred tapestry of your being, where every thought, emotion, and experience is woven, offering a profound understanding of your life's journey and the potential for deep healing and transformation. Everything is energy. We are all connected. Consciousness is expanding, and we can have that power to work with our soul. So again, here's your bonus enrollment. Angel is the code. Now, I am offering, you see me, I'm right here. I'm friendly. I like to chat with people. That is the connection I like to create. So I'm offering a free complimentary call. Call me up, schedule a call. Let's talk and see if this is for you. Maybe it is, maybe it's not, but I hope it is. I'll put the link in the chat and also in the follow-up email. And look, if this isn't, follow me on my Empowered Spirit show. Actually, big news on that. Follow me on Instagram or Facebook, or even have a membership that is very, very cost effective that you can join, and every month we go through. You can find more information about that, and I'll be happy to chat with you on that call about that as well. Now, some great news is my Empowered Spirit show has now been changing. I'm going to be on a TV show. It's a new network called the Etheric TV Network, Soul Messages. I'm so excited that that's going to be coming forward for me. So that is how this work has taken me from a single mom who lost the love of her life, working hard and alone in New York City, all the way through, moving back to Birmingham, Alabama to help my parents, opening up, and then now podcasting, writing books, a tarot deck, and now getting my show on TV. Yes, you too can learn to do the same. Take a deep inhale. I would love to have you in the class. We'll start in January. Make the commitment, whether it's with me or not, but make a commitment to continue to connect with your higher self first and foremost, and then the guides and the angels. They are all around us. They really are. So as we go to finish, take a nice deep inhale. I like to close. You're welcome, Karen. Thank you. Take a nice deep inhale. And exhale, bringing that breath all the way down deep into the earth. Inhaling and exhaling. Start to feel yourself grounding and centering. Take one more deep breath up the body. Exhale, breathing all the way back down. Feel yourself grounding. Remind yourself of where you are. Working in the records, we can get a little bit out of time zone. Here I am. Today is Wednesday, December 18th. We release all the energy from each other, yet we know we are all connected. Gratitude for this work. Gratitude for connecting your soul with the greater soul. Gratitude for showing up for you. Taking one more deep inhale and exhale, breathing all the way down. Thank you all so much for joining me tonight. Happy holidays. Please reach out. I will send a follow-up email with all the links. If anybody has any questions and would like, I will stay on a few minutes. You're welcome, Allison. Thank you, Angel. Angel, how awesome. Yes, if you would, you want to unmute and ask a question, I am here for you right now. Thank you. See, thank you for the hearts. Thank you for the sharing. Yes, I'm super grateful. Thank you so much.